Hi, I'm Shana Sturla from the ETH Zurich in Switzerland, and I am here with a former postdoc from my lab who's now an assistant professor at McGill University in Canada, Maureen McKeague. And also with us is Professor Steve Hecht from the University of Minnesota, who was my postdoctoral mentor. We are promoting the Chemical Research and Toxicology virtual collection of review articles called Building Chemical Bonds. This series of articles honors great mentoring in the field of chemical toxicology. So congratulations, Maureen, on your wonderful article titled Green Toxicology, Connecting Green Chemistry and Modern Toxicology.
Thank you so much, Shana, and congratulations to you on your article, which was the chemical link between meat consumption and colorectal cancer. Super interesting. And of course, this was dedicated to your mentor, Steve Hecht. So it's really great to be here with both of you, and nice to meet you in person, Steve.
Thanks, Maureen, and it's great to be part of this. I really like this series that CRT has organized on different aspects of chemical toxicology. So let me start off by asking Maureen a question about some of the mentoring approaches that you observed when you were working in Shana's lab. How did they impact your mentoring style now?
That's a really great question. So I was only in Shana's lab for 2 years, but I have a long list. But I will focus on two. The first I really noticed as soon as I got there, and that's that she's very open and honest. And this is really important as a mentor because I could really believe that all the advice she was giving me and her other students was very genuine and real. The other thing I kind of didn't really notice until I started at McGill, and that's that she really tailors her mentoring to every person and their needs at the time or their interests. And this is really difficult. So I'm kind of wondering if Shana does this naturally or deliberately. And I have to say, the first year at McGill, I picked out all the great mentoring things that I learned from my past mentors. I was like, this is going to be great. But I learned over that year that doing everything for everybody is not beneficial or useful. And so I then kind of dug back into my memory and, tried to think about, whether students really prefer the big goals or whether they like little tasks and small achievements. And this is something that Shana did really amazingly the whole time I was around her, and I think benefited her trainees a lot. So my turn to ask a question to you, Shana. So, we have navigated many scientific challenges together. So I'm curious, how did Steve help you navigate some of the challenges in your career path?
Yeah, well, landing a postdoc with Steve was really one of my luckiest career moves. I was really inspired and motivated by the relevance of our research to human health. And I think Steve really helped me make the bridge to understand the importance of rigorous chemistry to the field of toxicology. And really, in terms of my career, Steve really supported me early on in writing grant applications, postdoctoral grant applications. And then my first faculty position was at the University of Minnesota. So needless to say, Steve was a huge advocate in recommending me for that position. And another thing that really stood out for me is that during my postdoc, Steve was extremely generous in allowing me to benefit from some of the technical staff that was in the lab. And I could really bring on board technicians in the lab to contribute to the research projects that I was working on. And it really allowed us to accelerate the work that I was doing. And it also gave me a chance to work on writing and again, writing grant proposals. And even at the end of my time as a postdoc in Steve's lab, I had the freedom to work on writing proposals for grants that I applied for and then funded research that I started in my own lab. So I think this trust and this freedom and this support was really critical for advancing my career.
It was great having in the lab for those 3 years from 2001 to 2004. Seems like a very long time ago now, but looking back over your work, I mean, it was very significant at the time because we were just trying to identify DNA adducts formed by tobacco-specific nitrosamines, which hadn't been done before. Now it's more or less routine, but that time we're really pushing the frontier. So that was great work. And I also noted that the original project that we were going to do, which was on analogs of myo-inositol for chemo prevention, kind of got pushed to the side. And it's still a challenging project. Might be worthwhile doing.
I guess one of the things it really highlights is mentoring is about really finding a good match. It's really a mutual match between the mentor and the mentee.
Yep. Find the right people and leave them alone. Just provide the right setting for the right person, and you're there when they need you, and then leave them alone, let them do their thing. Well, my advice is to think about what you really love. Think about the kind of work that you really want to do that makes you happy. The kind of science that really gets your brain going, and try to find that, even if it's a relatively low-paying job. Don't worry too much about finances, if that's even possible, and just try to find the job where you can really apply yourself to what you love, and everything else will take care of itself. That's what I believe. That's been my guiding principle, and it has really worked out for me, because every day when I come to work, I'm excited about projects, and that's what drives you. That's what drives the science. You've got to have that excitement. You've got to have that love for what you're doing. So my advice is, but it's not always possible. So I mean, there are practical considerations, obviously, but if you can find it, if you find the place that lets you do the science that you want to do, then it doesn't matter if it's a 2-hour commute. And that's my advice.
Yeah, I agree so much. It's so true. It's the jackpot if you love what you do. And I just wanted to circle back a bit to the mentoring thing. And I just wanted to encourage people, if you end up in a lab and you don't feel you have the right mentor fit, you can find mentors everywhere, right? There might be someone else in the lab, a senior researcher, a postdoc. It could be a collaborator to the research. And also, CRT and Toxi are full of really great mentors who are always willing to, give advice and all this. So, keep looking for mentors if you need them, and you need different ones throughout your career. So there's always a chance to find some great mentorship.